What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamer Dad channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So Ubisoft Massive is on the spotlight right now. Those of you who are Division agents, you're probably thinking to yourself, what is it again? Apparently, the Ubisoft Star Wars game, which is being developed by Massive, is being reported to be closer than we think, or something about something around that. So basically, according to Akami Games, he's pretty much reporting Kotaku's sources, who say that the release date that Ubisoft is targeting may be too ambitious, but it would ultimately slip into the following fiscal year, April 2024 to 2025. This is the other large game, in quote, Ubisoft said they want to release by March 2024 in their recent investor call. Now, those of you who are in the Division ecosystem, we've had a lot of experience with Ubisoft Massive. And first of all, I just want to say, every game is different. The Division has pretty much been, the bane of their existence in a sense. And at the same time, the game that shot them into the spotlight, not for the bad aspects, but for the good aspects. And as much as, we want to kind of say or jump into this very quick fire response that you're going to see on the internet, we also have to realize that this game, as much as they're saying ambitious, is not as ambitious as a game like The Division or The Division 2. And The Division 2, its development cycle was actually very streamlined. What do I mean by that? So most of you who played The Division already, you know that when The Division 1 released in 2016, we heard rumors or reports that the developers were immediately moved on to Division 2, basically, or at least a group of developers were moved on just months later or weeks later to start working on the Division 2's concept because of how successful the Division 1 was. And they were able to dish out the Division 2 by March of 2019. So basically, a lot of different aspects of the Division 1 was already developed, and they were able to pivot from there and get a Division 2 game out as quickly as possible. A really cool turnaround, in my opinion. But again, the Star Wars game and the Division game are different in the sense that the Division is more ambitious, but with the Division 2, they already had a lot of a foundation and a baseline from the Division 1 compared to, say, the Star Wars side, where the conversation is a lot different if you were to, ask my own opinion. But by and large, like I said, if we want to think about it, what are we going to see here? And this video is made more for the Division fans, by the way. If you've never played the Division, there might be a few things that I'm throwing all over the place that may not necessarily be known to you. So just bear with me, but it's a little bit of that history because, we've been playing the game that Ubisoft, or the games that Ubisoft and Massive has made for the past 6, almost 7 years now. And so we have a little bit of, history knowledge about the studio and some of their workings that they've made known to the public. I guess that's how I should put it. So with the Division 1, its developer for, its main creative director, and I will say developer, I meant to say creative director. That's pretty much the person who spearheaded that project is Magnus Jensen. Along the line, his associate was Julian Garrity. Julian Garrity eventually went ahead to actually spearhead the development of Division 2. After he shipped the Division 2, he was moved to this Star Wars project. Julian Garrity is not the most popular among Division agents because of a lot of things that were actually said and promised at the onset and the unveiling of the Division 2 that some people felt did not come to fruition. So this is in the first place where you're going to be seeing some pushback when it comes down to this. In fact, if you look at the comments, some people are going to be saying things about, oh, it's just Ubisoft, more like 2026. Oh, all this stuff. But in reality, though, when you actually think about what, the ground game is, a lot of the folk that are talking about this, are also, in a sense, also citing that the Avatar game isn't that in development as well. But the truth is they've separated teams. The Avatar team is made up of mostly some of the folk from the Division 1. So after they shipped that game in 2016, they went to Avatar. After they shipped the other game in 2019, possibly somewhere around there, Julian went to the Star Wars project. And even though they were ramping up their teams, and I think by now they've probably ramped up, the teams to a satisfactory place, it is still highly likely that they may be able to meet that release date target of 2024 just because of the time and the experience that the studio has. In fact, one thing that we usually do whenever we want to kind of see where things are is we will go on Massive's website and we start looking at the job openings. That's usually one way we do it because with their career openings and their job openings, usually you'll see the number of jobs that are available to for people to apply for. And lately that number of those numbers have actually dwindled down significantly. There used to be dozens and dozens of these jobs open when the announcement first went live about who they want to hire for the Star Wars project, for the Avatar project, and even their Division projects. But if you look now, there are only 11 job openings left. There used to be as many as 24 or even more. They need a build engineer for Snowdrop. This is probably someone that's just going to jump on the team and continue to support Snowdrop. I don't even think this is we can't even count this in a sense when we're looking at that. So we need to look at what's next. They have 3 positions open, or 4 for the Star Wars project. Someone who's going to do art, cinematic artist. So this is probably them building their cutscenes in that sense. I don't know what role this person is going to take. Maybe, a vague description, but if we read more, we might be able to see things. Lead development tester. So my guess is they've already moved into the phase of QA. So they probably already have a working prototype that is needing somebody to come in there and start trying to bug the game out and break it. A lead gameplay animator. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So you can tell that this is already past prototype phase. And then here they need somebody for audio. So I think this game has already entered full-fledged development in regard to things. If you look at Avatar, they only have 1 for art here, and then everything else is just Snowdrop. So basically, Avatar, they have 2, animation and art, and then everything here seems like it's just supporting the Snowdrop engine overall. But this is actually pretty cool when you actually kind of go ahead and, in retrospect, think about who all the players are and what all to expect when it comes to this game. So I don't think it's something that is actually out of the question, even though the internet may think otherwise. But, again, the internet is full of people who have their own opinions. And we here in our communities, we like to look at things quite differently overall. But let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think that the Ubisoft Star Wars game is going to be a step up, from the past projects that they've been able to put together? Do you think it's something that we're probably going to see some of the different struggles that have plagued Ubisoft Massive? Or do you think they're going to learn from them and implement this, even though this is a different game? This doesn't seem like a game that's going to carry the ambition of the Division. It's going to seem to be like a one and done deal. They get their Disney money. They use their brand name, to basically skyrocket themselves again. People are going to be blown away by this game, by the way. I think people are just not, maybe, unless, of course, the story sucks. But when it comes to presentation and so on and so forth, we already know Massive makes some of the most, accurately looking games that you can actually tell. I mean, their 2 games are a representation of 2 real life locations, New York and Washington, D.C. And they pretty much mapped out those cities almost to its full representation, the sections anyways, to its full representation. In the case of New York, not a 1-to-1, but in DC, they did a 1-to-1 representation of the area where their game covers. It's something of a sight to behold. Y'all need to go check out the Division 2. Some of you have not checked it out. Man, you need to walk around the open world of that game. Game is like, $4 or $5 right now. You can pretty much load it up and just walk around just for a study. You can just buy that game just as a project to study in itself. So this is my video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.